What we're doing is we're building a fucking industrial film. Trying to give these guys everything they can get. I mean, that's it. Fuck it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. We suppose we open... Gotta do it again, right now. Oh, fuck. 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 Oh, fuck. Shit. Tony, do me a favor, will you please? Will you? Will you do me a kindness? Leave. Yeah.
I think I want to be walking in and out if you're going to fuck up and I got to come back.
I don't make any difference to me at this juncture. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Don't slam the fucking door. No more. Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day from anyone. That includes me. It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody. Want anybody yelling? We get anybody yelling around here anymore today, and then the shit is going to hit the fan. And they fit the diverse needs of a very big fern, and they fit the needs of a very diverse buyer segment. Why can't I remember? I wrote this stuff. Why can't I remember it? Why don't I say it fucking right? What does the goddamn line say, Tony? What is the goddamn line? I don't give a shit what the line is. I fucked up the word rear. I can't even read the fucking VO straight. What the fuck was that? We got flies all over the fucking place. Son of a bitch. Get out of here, you fucking flies. There's a fly over the headlight, Tony. We got flies coming for us. Fuck. Fuck out of here, you flies. We got 3 flies, 5 flies. And if you will, make sure, if you will, we don't have that fly on the left side, on the passenger side, because we don't have that in frame, but make sure we don't have any flies here. And we don't have any flies. Here we go. Get out of here, you goddamn jackass. I gotta read it again because my mind is just a piece of shit this morning. God, I can't fucking make my mind work. Tony, give me a towel for just a minute, please. That... I'm blinded by that fucking hot light. Goddamn son of a bitch! What do you mean, I'm gonna fall off the fucking thing? Fuck. Just keep running. Bullshit. I'm going to slate this fucker. All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
Still speeding.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass. And I'd like to kick your fucking head in. Meat, innovation, money. Fuck. Not even funny anymore. Son of a bitch! Jesus Christ. Fuck! Holy shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck off! What the hell's the line? Shit! What the fuck is it? Can't remember the goddamn line. The accoutrement that you will need. Accoutrement? What is that shit? I don't know, shit. It's just all gone. I get so goddamn diuretic when I sit here, and my mouth just never stops. For 1989, each individual storage compartment has this controlled light that you can put up your fern if you want to. How's that? What shot is it? Oh, shit. What did I do? Did I walk through it? It's going to be very helpful in keeping you from falling down, you big dumb son of a bitch. You're disturbing what's left of my brain. Yeah, but my mind is such shit. To say nothing of the flies in my head. Got a fly in my mouth and every fucking other thing happens. If I knew what the rest of the line was, then I would be in good shape. Amazing how I just dabble. Uh-oh. I guess my mind is going again. My body is dismembered from my mind completely. Which is pretty average with me.
5, 4, 3.
Fuck it.
There's no words on it.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it. I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there. Fuck it. There's no words on tomorrow. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there. I don't know. Fuck. 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 I don't know what. Go. I can't do it. Fuck it. Go. I can't do it. Fuck it. Go. I can't do it. Fuck it. Go. I can't do it. Thanks again for watching. Fuck it. There's no words on tomorrow. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there. Fuck it. There's no words on tomorrow. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there.
Okay, ready?
Take it away. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Go. What does that mean? To play us out? To end the show? Yeah.
Yo! What's up, everybody? Dark Horse Live, episode 30. Pacific Northwest Roots on the show tonight. It's a banger. If you don't know who Kai is, he's one of my favorite people of all time, favorite breeder of all time, one of my favorite breeders of all time. So we're going to ask some questions to Kaya. But right off the bat, you guys want free shit. I got it. So let's give it to you. All right, free shit. Close-up cam. Excuse me. This is an ashtray that magically appeared in studio. It says Night Owl on it. And I believe it's in the glow-in-the-dark variety, which is awesome for the hot tub in the middle of the night, if you know what I mean. But, yeah. Who wants a fucking ashtray? If you want a fucking ashtray, how about, I only have like one or two that I'll give you guys. But, free shit email. There it is. Sorry. Reach your email scrolling across the screen, darkhorsegeneticslive@gmail.com. If you want to win this fucking ashtray, you've got to write Night Owl and send me in the subject line and send me fucking ashtray. Fucking ashtray, man. In the subject line. And you'll win this fucking ashtray. All right. Since we have Kaya on the show tonight, I want to do Kimlim. It's only a 6-pack, but super limited. I just found this. I don't even know where the fuck this came from. But, Kim Lim, this was used with Joe's Lemonade, which is a Kaya strain. Joe's Lemonade was the male, which I'll ask him about. And Kim Lim, if you want to win this shit, you have to write, Pacific Northwest Roots in the subject line. We're going to do I have 3 of them. We'll do the 10th, the 30th, and the 50th person to write this shit. I got Caesar holding up a pack over here. He wants to wants to give away, or throw away. I guess is one way of looking at it. Pink Dot. You don't even know what Pink Dot is. Pink Dot's another new fucking Caesar variety. So there you go. These are mystery packs. I don't even know what the fuck they are. So you have to bother Caesar to find out what the fuck this shit is. But free shit email to win Caesar's pack. What do you want it to be?
Let's see. Say, fucking blue raspberry.
Blue raspberries? Blue raspberries that might be a hint. Blue raspberries in the subject line. What number of person you want?
23rd.
23rd person wins. There you go. All right. I'm not going to fuck around too much. I want to get right to Kaya. So without further ado, figure out my buttons and shit. Let's talk to Kaya. There we go. And wrong button. There we go. All right, everybody, here he is, the man, Kaya, Pacific Northwest Roots. Kaya, thank you for coming on, dude. I feel like I finally got him to come on. I was, not, I wouldn't say chasing you, but I was sort of hounding you, bro. I was like, will you come on? Can I get you on? But Kaya, thanks for coming on, bro. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Sorry to be hard to catch.
I know you're a busy man, dude. Busy man out there in Washington doing your farm, so for sure.
Yeah, nothing intentional. We got swept away by the COVID train like everybody else, and ended up out in Hawaii. My wife is from there, so we ended up just hiding away out there for a couple months, and then we made it back. It's just been hustling to get the farm ready for the summer planting and processing, and finally like kind of catching a breath here.
Oh shit!
And trying to
You were in Hawaii when it like the sort of shit broke out or whatever, and just chilling, or how did that sort of work out?
Seattle got hit. This the old folks home got hit out here, and I was like, let's get out of here. And the kids had spring break coming up, so we figured good time, and we got some tickets and flew out there. And while we were out there enjoying, the week before spring break, they ended up canceling school for the rest of the year, essentially. And so we ended up staying with family and just making the most of it. It was great.
Totally. Of all places to be, that's one of the coolest places to be quarantined, I suppose. But then again, quarantine's fucking quarantine or whatever, fucking house of arrest, if you will, or whatever's house arrest. But I don't know. I always ask people on this show if they would. Do you remember the first time you ever smoked cannabis, and do you know what strain it was? Or tell us a little bit about your youth, maybe where you're from. You don't have to give us exact details or anything, but tell us how you came to be Kaya.
Oh, right on. The first time I ever smelled weed, my dad was a game fowl breeder, a chicken fighter, and we would have chicken fights at our place. And that was the first time I'd ever smelled weed, was at the chicken fights. And then, junior high, a couple buddies took me across the street, and we burned some herbs out of a Coke can. Shout out Ben Lyons and Richard. What's Richard's last name? Anyways, those two guys. And I don't think I really even got stoned. And then my junior year in high school, we were out with some friends, and they said, hey, we're putting a little collection together. We got $40. We want to get some weed or some beer. And I was like, let's get some weed. And I remember just laughing so hard I couldn't even see straight. We just had the giggles for hours, and didn't even make it home. Had to stay on the couch. And, so that was my first experience. But I was into athletics in high school. I was a football player, and we were nationally ranked and state champions out here. And but my junior year, I'd had some head injuries. I got a concussion, and so they were giving me these pharmaceuticals, to try to deal with the side effects of having a concussion, which was like depression. And I shouldn't, I knew enough that I shouldn't be depressed. Like, my life was great. I had a good upbringing, and back then they didn't really understand that was a side effect of having a traumatic brain injury was depression. So they were giving me Prozac and Paxil and Zoloft, trying all these different things, and none of which made me feel good. So around that time, some friends of mine said, hey, try this herbs. And so I started smoking herb with them, and I don't know the science behind how it helps, but it, at that time anyways, but I felt better, and I didn't take any of the pharmaceuticals anymore. I just started consuming herb on a daily basis, and I found myself well again. I wasn't sad anymore, and I went on to college and had a great time there, and that was kind of my introduction to weed. It was medicinal for me, not really intending it to be. I didn't know that at that time, but that's what really helped me with that that transition there. And then when I was in college, I got a government grant in school, and I invested in some Canadian herb. The college I was at was right there by the border, and just moved it on campus, and I never looked back. That was 1995, and I put myself through college, helped out a couple roommates, guys I grew up with, and And I
Dude,
just never looked.
your story is remarkably similar to my own. Not that I wasn't a football player, but I was an athlete. I was a basketball player, a baseball player, and I didn't necessarily have head injuries, but yeah, just something about like being depressed at an earlier age and for no fucking reason, and then deciding to try medicinal herbs essentially, and being at a better place than going through school and helping it to go through school and college and everything else. Like, it's remarkable how it's kind of I never knew that about you, dude. That's similar in the sort of the way that Canada came up through this shit or whatever. What about the first time you ever put a plant in the soil? Do you recall like how that came to
Yeah.
be?
Oh yeah, and I say I think probably a lot of people kind of have that experience. So summer of '96, spring of '96, we had some seeds that we had collected through our bags we were moving, and we rode our bikes up to Blanchard Hill, which is south of Bellingham up here in Washington. It's a big biking area, and we found a creek and diverted a little water flow and planted a little gorilla patch. And man, it was actually crazy good. But we ended up drying it in an attic, and it got super hot, and it just ruined it.
Sure.
And but that was my first experience, and it was outdoor, which was awesome. And then from there, we had my neighbor had the Phototron, which is a little like one light grow box thing you could put in your closet.
Oh yeah, high times,
And
back
we
of high
messed around
times.
with that for like 2 or 3 cycles, and then we were up on campus taking the lights off of anything that wasn't screwed down, and bringing it back to whoever's house we could talk into using their closet, and just lighting things up. And at that point, I really just got more into how should I just say this? Just moving things. I became a hustler more than anything. I developed really good contacts and saw a lot of Canadian herb, a lot of the local herb. And I kind of got away from growing at that point. And it wasn't until, maybe 2003, 2002, that I got back into growing the herb. And my buddy let me use his cabin out here in the woods, and he was out in Hawaii. And he helped me set up a little hydroponics setup. And I cranked it, and he came back 2 months later and was like, bro, I can't believe this. And I had grown like 11 pounds under 5.5 lights, essentially, and he was just like, what, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And he's like, no, this is good. And from there, I was hooked. I mean, we were getting $4,000 a pound. You know what I mean? We just came up 40 grand. I mean, we were out that night having steaks at the steakhouse and buying $100 cigars, and
Totally.
really, and like, woo, man, we know what we're doing. And we didn't have a clue. It was Lucas formula with the General Hydro 3-part. But it was a good system. I'm not gonna lie. It was a really good system, and it allowed me to, put stuff in at places and not be around them for a long time. You could just go check the reservoir once a week or whatever, and so I was just steady being a commercial farmer. And then around 2008, I met my wife, and we got like into organics, and I got into breeding, and I wanted like an equal system to do testing in, and there was just too many variables in hydroponics, and I also wanted my kids to be around my garden, so I got into soil farming and organic farming. And 2 years later, I had the medical thing had taken off here in Washington State like 2010, and I immediately recognized, hey, we need to start branding and doing these things. And that's when I started the whole roots thing. And, kind of the rest is history. We participated heavily in the medical scene up here in Washington.
Let me interrupt real quick. The Roots logo is probably the coolest fucking logo in all of cannabis. Who did it? Do you know, or where did that come from?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of help with the different reiterations of that logo. So it's inspired by the Native American culture up here, coastal Salish people, the Haida people. My dad was a bear hunter and interacted with these folks out here, and so I kind of grew up a little bit closer to the culture and to the people than other folks. And my dad did trading with them, and the bear is a symbol of protection. So we really wanted to have something that identified us was, where we were coming from. And so, yeah, inspired by those folks. And my good friends, Dean and Eddie, up at the Tulela tribe, they've helped with a lot of the graphic design, and
Nice.
actually helped design the other one too we've done for Worldwide Roots, which is a raven holding the seed of life. Uh, I'm a huge fan of really, a lot of the stuff that all ancient cultures were doing, um, you know, living in concert with nature. And I think that especially the Native Americans, they had such an advanced idea of how we should live on this earth, and we'd be wise to try to revamp their culture and learn lessons from it and incorporate more of that style into our living these days, because the direction we're going is kind of crazy. Anyways,
Sure.
tangent. Sorry.
Sure. You mentioned, you got you a little off track there, but you mentioned meeting your wife there. Then that sort of leads me to Hawaii. Were you like I'm a huge Hawaii fan. I have a piece of land in Hawaii. Like, I'm all about the islands. Um, were you like explain your connection to Hawaii? Short of, obviously your wife's from there, you said, but had you spent a lot of time in Hawaii before that, or did your wife sort of bring the islands to you?
Yeah, no, I was absolutely blessed. I visited there once before in college, but yeah, I met Tati up here in Washington, and she took me back home and introduced me to the family. And
Hawaiian style.
yeah, well, it was funny when we first met. She says, "Man, you grow weed and your family fights chickens." She said, "You're like my family." So, I don't know. I feel like I fit in out there, and her family's really welcomed me in, and I try to share all of my gardening knowledge with them, and genetics and stuff, and they share their mana with me and their teachings. And Tutu taught me, if you malama your mala will malama you, and that is to say that if you love your garden will love you back.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. So that sort of leads me, I guess, into this is again maybe a little bit off topic or whatever, but of all personalities in cannabis, of all personas, if all of all characters there are out there in the world of breeders in particular, but you have to be the most Rasta, the most chill, the most. I don't think I've ever seen you angry, bro. I like you. There's something about your vibe that is just like, don't worry, man, it's all good or whatever. And it's like, can you speak to that in any way? Is that something you consciously try to put out or whatever? Because I honestly, dude, I think you're probably the most chill human being on earth. And if there's anything that I can mimic from all breeders, I'd like to take a bit of your personality, because it's just chill vibes, bro. Like, explain that a little bit if you would.
Yeah. I had to go through a lot to get this way. I got 5 brothers, and I know how to use these things. And if you disrespect me, I'll let you have it. There's plenty of people that will attest to that. But I'm working on that, and it's been a work. And really, when you accept kind of the reality that I've accepted, and I have a connection with God, the Most High, Jah, and that's really the source of it all. That's the source of my calm. That's the source of my peace. That's I teach my kids the golden rule, and I've just life has taught me that if you walk a certain way, you're gonna go a certain direction too. And I try to invite in good vibes and positivity, and I try to put that out. Like, you reap what you sow.
Totally.
So
The only other guy I've ever heard talk like that was Tommy Chong, who I consider the guru of ganja, bro. And he's just I mean, he almost said word for word, paraphrase kind of what you just said or whatever. So I don't know. It's a mindset, I think, also.
yeah, that's funny. Growing up, my folks worked, and the neighbor lady that watched us, this old Swedish lady, she would always put on Cheech and Chong for us to watch when we were kids.
That's dope.
So maybe I picked up some of Chong's vibes. No, I've had a lot of teachers along the way, and I just love is the most precious thing, and it's very rare, and we gotta love each other and take care of each other. That's the way. That's the Japanese have that. They call that the way, right? It's not about an ideology. It's about how you walk it. So you can think you are whatever you want to think you are, but it's really about practical application. And when you can understand that, then the word becomes more powerful. You know, I really preach a lot about community, and I'm telling you, like, all of my neighbors around here, we all know each other by name. We take care of each other. We eat dinner with each other all the time. Like, we love each other, and that only took a couple years of us, just reaching out to each other. That wasn't always here. And when we moved here, we just started reaching out, and you can see how that grows, and it's contagious, and people want to participate, and you just become stronger that way.
Sure.
I can't emphasize that enough.
Love Trump's hate a lot of times there. So
Yeah,
but,
and being an empathetic person. I mean, when somebody's wrong, it's not always good to just point them out and you're wrong and it's your fault. What I want to change people's mind by reasoning with them and explaining things, and let's find out the common ground in our perspective. And I don't know. I just think if you walk that way through life and try to see the good in people and not try to raise conflict or bring in drama or invite drama, you're gonna be okay. Just try to be your highest self in that sense. And so
right.
I appreciate you saying that stuff. That really, I take that to heart.
No, yeah, I mean it for real.
For teaching me too, but that's awesome, man. I
Nice.
appreciate that.
Let me ask you this then: transition to legal cannabis. So you've got a farm going out here in Eastern Washington, I believe it's Eastern Washington. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but you got a farm going. I think it's all rec and everything. How you dealing with the regulations and the bullshit and the legal life? How you coping?
This is actually kind of a crazy little story too. So 3-4 years ago, things were kind of pushing through, and I don't know about you, but I really felt like a sense of pressure. Like, man, I really got to get into this legal market, and eventually I kind of scored like a deal to help somebody out, like a consulting gig, if you will. And I built out this big facility and ran that for a while, and it was pretty successful. Had some issues, but it was lots of lessons learned. So left that engagement, and very shortly thereafter, a buddy of mine called and said, "Hey, we got a farm that we can get very close to where I live," because I'd been commuting like 2.5 hours to this gig every day. That's one way, so 4 to 5 hours back and forth, which is just silly. But they're paying me good money, so it helped me to launch this other thing. So it was really amazing that one door closed, this other door opened, and now we have a 5-acre farm. It's a tier 3, so we can have 30,000 square feet of canopy. It's 20 minutes from my house out here on the Kitsap Peninsula in Western Washington. It's outdoor and indoor. We've got hugelkultures, 3 greenhouses. The one greenhouse is a 3,000 square foot light depth. We've got heated raised beds in there. We're just doing it all organic. We got ducks and Lucy the goose out there, and some chickens, and we're making ferments and doing all the Korean natural farming stuff, and just trying to do it right. And it's cool. It's a small operation. There's 4 of us that own it. We're all equal partners, and I get to make the hash there for everybody, and it's really, really cool. It's cool to be doing it with my partner Phil. I've known him since junior high. He's a cancer survivor, and just an incredible farmer. And
where can people find your products in Washington?
So we're all over in the rec stores. I usually post lists on my IG, but Squim, Olympia, Kennewick on the east side, Yakima on the east side, Yakima Weed Company in Seattle, Freedom, Clutch in Olympia Weed Company. We're on some of the reservations, so Salish Coast Company,
Nice.
Cannabis Company, and Cedar Greens up in Squim, Nature's Gift up in Squim. The support out here has just been tremendous.
Nice.
I
You
don't
grow
have to
good fucking weed, though. That's another part of it. I'll bring up this real quick. You might not remember this, but it was the LA Cannabis Cup, like, I think in San Bernardino. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. I think we had the Rick Ross in our booth, like the real Rick Ross, the crack guy, not the fucking rapper. Not that that's
Remember
much
him?
better.
Yep.
Yeah, but the real Rick Ross is there. And you came by the booth, and I think you gave us like 3 huge jars. One of them was the coffee. One was like the gas mask, I think. And another one was like an old school ass strain. I think it was like NL5 Haze or NL or something, but I've never forgot that herb because it had such a clean taste to it or whatever. And like I still remember those jars of weed that you dropped off at our booth like 4 or 5 fucking years ago or whatever. But I was gonna ask you, do you remember what the like old one was? I can't remember if it was NL, NL5. Is something stand out to you that you were growing around that time that you might recall?
Well, the only haze that we really ever ran out here was that Ghost Train haze.
Okay, hey Matt, you know you did give us the Ghost Train. There you go. I don't think it was a Ghost Train off the top of my head, but I do remember getting that jar. But either way, my point of bringing it up was I was astounded at the fucking weed was fucking awesome. So yeah, if you're in Washington, go buy the man's fucking products or whatever.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to. We honestly don't put out too much flowers right now. It's just the way that it's set up over here, and the state taking so much of the end. You know, they take like 45% of the gross number, so it's so huge. So really, for us, you know, processing it and making it hash is kind of our business model right now. But you know, we do release flowers in the fall. We'll have some flowers. We went from 200 amps this whole last year. We ran out 200 amps, and we just got a big power drop. So now we're at 1,000 amps, and so we'll fire up our 3 indoor rooms, and you know, purchasing some LED lights coming up, and you know, we'll have some really fine indoor flowers here very soon.
Keeping it growing. You said hash there, which reminded me of your hash at Emerald Cup and your bicycle. I believe that was you, right? Didn't you have the bike, bro? So for those that don't know, at Emerald Cup, which is a huge cup every year in like December in California, a lot of the breeders are there. Obviously, it's a good seed selling show. Kaya shows up. I think maybe somebody else had done it before or whatever, but I thought it was just the most beautiful thing. Were you the originator?
We originated that.
Okay, let's give the man his credit.
Shout out Cheech and Chong, Nice Dreams, because you guys inspired that. And I'm like, man, I can't drive around a truck in here. I was like, but I could get one of them tricycle things. And so I called the people at Emerald Cup, and they're like, no, you can't drive that around, but you can park it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I won't drive it. I'll just park it. So I called these cats down in Portland, and I sent them the logo, and man, the bike is dope. It's like, I still got it. It's out at the farm. Candy apple red.
Oh, it's so fresh.
With the sparkles in it, and it's got the wood with the engraved the
I wish I had a picture. I should be showing a picture right now, but yeah, I'm sure it's on your Instagram. Awesome. Scroll it a ways back or whatever. But yeah, check out this fucking bike this dude had at the Emerald Cup, a tricycle basically with a sidecar that was full of fucking. Was it a freezer? Right? It had hash in it.
Freezer on the front.
Like an ice cream truck or ice cream bike or whatever.
Umbrella on it, and it said, you know, like hash and full melt. And,
it was genius, dude. It was absolutely genius, and one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. This dude was riding around. His guys were riding around the fucking Emerald Cup with this fucking bike, and I think it was like a horn or a fucking bell or something, and it was just
we had a bell.
sowing seeds out of the fucking thing. Dude, I'm still to this day, I thought it was one of the funniest fucking things and the smartest fucking things I've ever seen or whatever. But yeah, shout out. I didn't know you're the originator, bro. Shout out to the originator because it has been copied now. So,
yeah. My boys, and you know, that's flattering, man. I think it was cool. The guys at Moonshine Melts had one the next year, you know, and we did a little race around the thing, and we're kind of making jokes with each other. And you know, I thought it was super cool. And we took that thing to Chalice and smashed it. It had cooler inside, and we had like a portable dab thing that was battery powered. And we were, you know, doing the thing with the hash and everything out of there. It was pretty cool.
So
that's a good one.
Leads me to another question is, dude, you show out at shows. So first of all, your packaging is dope. It comes in like wood cedar boxes. I wish I had one to show, but it's like, it's not a small package. It's not a cardboard thing or whatever. So for you to show up at a show, I'm kind of chuckling. I'm like, this dude must roll with like 37 suitcases, bro, because I don't know how the fuck you do it. And now you're telling me you got a trike down in fucking SoCal and everything else. Like, when you roll out to a show, how much of a bitch is it for you to bring that packaging with you? Because it is dope as fuck. But like, dude, you're carrying weight.
I think it's more of a bitch for the seed companies after they pick them up. But for me, you know, I got a big trailer, and we just, you know, throw the bike in there and throw the trailer in there and hook it up to the truck and cruise. Yeah, you know, I mean, you got to have the infrastructure, you got to have the trailer and stuff to do that. But, you know, we invested in a nice trade booth, and, you know, we had couches, and, you know, I mean, that's kind of the point of doing that, is showing up there and giving people the experience and letting them, you know, kind of making a temporary home, and then saying, hey, come on into my home, come into my zone and experience our vibes. And, yeah, that's kind of what it's all about, you know. And you know, if you're gonna go and do it, you know. And I did that for a year. We went and hit, you know, kind of the circuit and hit everything. And it was fun, but it's hard with kids, so we kind of just pulled the plug on that, and we hit specific events, and lately it's been Miss. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, what show do you miss the most of all? I mean, I know you do limited shows now, like you said, but what's your favorite show if you had to pick one?
Well, after they changed those regulations, like Emerald Cup was just like you can't get into it because I'm not from California.
Totally, Emerald Cup came kind of
But
bullshit.
honestly, nothing else even compared to Emerald Cup. Like that was just it. I had such amazing times there. Chalice event was always cool. I hit Chalice a few times, brought down the Terp Trike. They always had really good music. I got to see some cool acts there, and Tati and I like to get down and get dance and pick up the vibes. Spanibus was really awesome.
Yeah, you went to Spanibus a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's a fun one.
But we went last year, and we didn't or not this last year, but the year before, and that was awesome. But I've been doing some of these regenerative farming conferences and getting a chance to speak and share my experiences and talk breeding and hash, and these events are really cool. It's kind of my speed, my crowd. High times events to me just man, the vibe just it's too much for me. I'm ready to go home. But these regenerative conferences, it's just a good vibe. Everybody's kind of slowed down and seems to care and be on the same page and seeking the same kind of information and
seek knowledge, not free dabs, basically.
You know what I'm saying? There's no BHO to be found.
Gotcha.
We love ourselves like that.
So let's talk some of your strains, dude. You've got some amazing ones, obviously, but I think first and foremost, I want to talk about the coffee and coffee strains. It generally tastes a bit like coffee. Describe how you made that strain and what went into it, and some of the offspring that have come from it since. And let's talk coffee.
So, give me just a sec, Jake. He's outside, baby. So back when I was up in Western, my top 3 strains all time: Northern Lights. This hippie chick had brought us these Northern Lights, and me and my 2 buddies went in on an ounce. It was just massive, and we were so stoned we couldn't even go to class. And that's always kind of number 1, 2, 3. And then there was Pez, which I think is just gone. The real Pez out here was amazing. And then there was this Afghani. It's called Afghani hash plant that I would get from these bikers in Canada. And it was just narcotic, heavy, smelled like burned sugar and coffee. It was just awesome. And I never thought that I would get that strain back again. So when I did my first breeding, I had selected all these plants, and I had this Alien OG that I really wasn't that fond of. It scored high, and it was really pretty, but it just wasn't it for me. And my mentor had given me this Alien Kush male to do my first breeding project with, and I thought, I'm going to throw that one in there just because smash those Afghanis together, maybe I'll get that profile like I was getting from those Canadian guys so long ago, and so we did that breeding, and I ran this big room. I ran 100 plants in the room with all these different crosses, and there was 10 of those particular plants in the room, 10 females, and some of them were just so crystally crusted. It was amazing, but the one, when I picked it up, it had that smell, and that was the coffee. And I ended up trying to re-veg, I want to say 16 of those 100 plants. I thought they were really good, and I only got one of them to take. And it was the coffee, and it was I was praying for this one. I'm pretty sure it picked up the vibe. Yes, I gotta survive. So that's where that strain came from, and that's kind of the flagship for Pacific Northwest Roots. And we placed at the Seattle High Times Cup, the last one they had here in 2014, and it was in the magazine for the strongest strains on planet Earth. I know you got one just like that.
Yes, sir.
The banner. And so that's kind of what really launched the seed company and whatnot. And you've done some breeding with another really amazing one. Our good friend Farmer Joe was winning a bunch of cups out here.
Joe's Lemonade.
With this lemon skunk that was just incredible. And I crossed that with the Alien Kush to make the Joe's Lemonade. And I think we traded some packs at a show even.
Yep.
And
I
I remember
actually just
seeing you.
gave away some Crybaby, which is Sour Diesel Joe's Lemonade, on the show earlier or whatever. So yeah, in tribute to you guys or whatever. But yeah, the Joe's Lemonade. We made a whole hash line based off of one of your mails. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. We traded the seeds, and then I think I seen you at the next show, and you were like, "Bro, this shit's crazy. You got to check this out. I found yada yada." Oh, and I was like, "Wow, really?" And it was, that's really cool. I think that's awesome. I always encourage people, when you find something dope, keep it running. So, and then you blessed me back with a whole bunch of packs, and I actually popped a bunch of those, and ran some in my indoor room. What was the one? The Twizzler, the lemon Twizzler. That one was rank. Super good strain. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's really dope when we can trade stuff back and forth. I've traded some stuff with Green Source Gardens down in Oregon, and they're doing a lot of work with coffee, and I'm doing some work with their Pinkleberry, and I don't know.
I
I think
know.
that's
Uh,
wise.
I know another limited one that you were working with was gas mask. You only put out a very limited amount of this stuff or whatever. Was that a biodiesel cross or what was the gas mask?
Ooh, this was a project. This is a fun story. So I had brought up that cherry pie. Um, from down in California. It took me forever to get it from this kid, and I finally got it, and I brought it up here, and it was so good. And I gave it to people, and they had a hard time growing it, because it's a little unstable.
Yep.
But it worked great for me, and I was taking care of exotic Mike, good homie, and he was picking up, some head stash, and he was like, "Man, this is really good. Give me the cut." And I'm like, "Nope." And he was like, "Well, let's do a breeding project." And I'm like, "All right, let's do that." So, because we wanted to have that terp without the risk of, pollinating your room. So he took the cut and he crossed it to his Starfighter. He used Starfighter male, and we called some of that progeny. The key lime pie came out of that, and
I
yeah,
know this.
the pie, and so. I took that also, that cherry pie, and I hit it with my alien Kush to create the cherry aliens. And then I took my selected female, and he had given me like 12 males, and I weeded through those and picked one, and we crossed those together to create the gas mask. So it's basically cherry pie times Starfighter, and then cherry pie times alien Kush, and then those two crossed together created the gas mask. And then I took that, and then I did some outcrossing, yeah, we didn't let out too many of those, but it's fire. All that stuff is super fire. I love that cherry pie terp.
Totally. What's new? Like as far as genetics, what do you have coming out that's you're excited about or you want to share if you want to share?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess to cover kind of the discography a little bit. We also did a sativa line breeding. So we took that Blue Dream, and up here in Washington, it kind of got the moniker the Snoop Stream because I had hooked up Snoop Dogg when he came into town one time, and that was a really cool story. But at any rate, so we crossed that out to Alien to make the A Lion, and then did some back crossing, and then used that male and hit it against all of our sativa stuff and some of the indica stuff too. But that's kind of the big sativa line that we did. And then we've been playing a lot with this freeze strain, which is some stuff that we were smoking in high school in the late 80s and early 90s. And we believe it came from like Ontario, the Friesland orange. But man, just a screaming like almost like a dog shit terp, but even sweeter and super loud. So we did some breeding with that. We did a freeze breeding. Essentially, we took that old clone and outcrossed it to the triple threat, and then did some back crossing and then filial generation breeding before we started doing outcrosses on that. And we released the freeze line, the fog line, which is the freeze times an OG, and also the fire alien freeze, which is the freeze crossed to the fire alien Kush, which is more squat plants. So those are kind of like in the last couple of years the stuff that we've dropped. And most recently we dropped the Yerba line and the coffee cubed. Coffee cubed is just the coffee back cross 4.
Yep.
And we also did out crosses of that, and we crossed it to the triangle Kush to make the Matterhorn. Crossed it to the Avi Deco, which is this crazy 20-to-1 CBD. Man, this frostiest, most terpy plant, crazy plant. I don't know if you've seen that Avi Deco. Freight Train, we crossed it to that OG Ghost Train Haze. that makes such good hash.
Let me ask you this real quick on the coffee cube. Did you notice any dip in potency as you were stabilizing out to the F4? Because I did it with the banner as well, but almost every generation I saw a slight dip in the potency on testing, and it concerned me to the point where I restarted the entire project over basically recently. But I'm wondering what your results were. Did you potentially see a slight dip along the way as you stabilized out into that pheno of the coffee that you really are into?
That's really interesting, actually. And I hadn't thought about it, but I got all the info in my head. So on the filial generations, the F1 had scored 31%, almost 32%. And this is steep hill, and I understand testing and all that stuff. I'm not to brag on a number, but it's
data's data.
Data's data. So you're hitting at 31, and then like the F3, I think it was like 28, 29. There's a lot of different variables, but that's a little bit. Now on the BX though, same. The BX3 tested out at 31%, and I tested like 6 different phenos, and they were all 30, 31, 29. All super high and in that range. So there might be something to that with the filial, but on the back cross, I didn't see that.
Sure.
So.
I say it wasn't a significant dip. It wasn't like my 28-30% shit went all the way down to like 10 or 15 or something. But it was just like, no, it's again, I getting that moniker "world's strongest strain on earth" or whatever. You're like, well, I want to try to breed this true as I can to where it's going to breed out 30% every time. Whatever. When you start seeing it come in a bunch of 25ers or 26ers or something like that, same thing happens. It's like, well, there's a variable at the lab, or is it as genetics, or it's like trying to pinpoint that data. I don't know. It made me a little bit nervous, but I don't know. I expected it to stay the same, probably not increase, but it's certainly not decrease by a few points. But I would just sort of pick your brain on that one.
I just think there's so many variables. You know what I mean? There's so many variables on that.
Totally.
And I think, but I think you're right though. I think that any given strain, you know what I mean? If I take a clone and run it, the same clone, and I run it in different conditions under different lighting circumstances, it's going to vary.
Totally.
But it's only going to vary, within a certain range. So I think if you're breeding stuff and it goes out of that range, then you have evidence that it's actually traveling in one direction or the other. So
exactly. Yeah. But sorry to interrupt you with that. Continue on your sort of discography, if you will, or whatever. So
no, that's a good thought to have, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So we just released the Coffee Cube line, and we also released the this new Yerba line. So Yerba is coffee times dog walker, okay. And this dog walker OG. So again, I'm in Seattle area, and for a long time I had close friends down in Portland, and this dog walker was fetching 36 a pound when everything else was below 25, just because the guy, I won't say his name, just held on to it. Awesome dude, by the way. I love this guy, and it was kind of a social experiment, and he held the price right there, and it was so good people would pay it. The first time I tried, it got me ripped. I just wasn't expecting it. So a couple of years ago, he finally releases the clone, and I was like the first person to get it because my partner down there was like good friends with him, and we brought it up here and ran it a few times and checked it out, and it had a little bit of instabilities in it, but not bad, so we started breeding with it and playing with it, and so we've got we bred the Yerba, and then now we've done some crosses, bred it out a little bit, and now we've done some out crosses. And my favorite of that batch is the Royal. Like just the taste. You hit the joint, and it's like, oh shit, that's amazing. And then halfway through the joint, you're like, man, it's still amazing. So it's that kind of weed. I think it leans more towards the smoker side of the spectrum as opposed to the coffee stuff, which I think is more of a hashy type strain.
Totally. Do you have any hash superstars? I know that you make a fuck ton of hash. Is there a strain that, non-solvent guys, we just talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. Is there a strain that you guys put out that, washes really well?
Man, I got some crazy ones. Before I move on to that though, let me just throw out the teaser. We're breeding out that coffee cube. The 4, we're using a male now and hitting some crazy stuff. And we also have the next filial generation of coffee that we're going to release is going to be F6.
Was that the male I just happened to get a sneak peek at? That fucking giant monster?
That big monster that's in the greenhouse doing work. All this stuff is
Okay.
naturally bred here out in the yard in the farm, so it's got all that awesome biointelligence built in. So we'll be dropping those and the new the F6 and outcrosses too. And I won't tell you guys the process, but there's some crazy fires. We hit the GMO, finally got to the GMO and some other stuff, which brings us to hash, because that's the most strain. So out at our farm, we've got a lineup of killers for hash stuff. Some of that pink lemonade, the Santa Cruz pink lemonade, coffee breath, the number 22, which is one that my brethren down in California in Mendocino run, Malama the Roots. We've got the OG Ghost Strain Haze. This strawberry yogurt, which we got the clone from a buddy. We're the only ones that have it. And he found a bag seed and some strawberry kush, and this stuff is just strawberries and cheese. It's amazing. And I didn't think it was going to hash. We grew a bunch of it, and they were like, hash? And I'm like, I don't know. It looked kind of sticky. And wow, amazing white hash, super light colored, and just the terps on it are super incredible. I think it's probably one of the favorites up here right now in Washington on the rec market even. Our Hamma, which is 9-pound hammer from Jinx Proof, crossed with Platinum Alien OG, which is another one that we'd bred. And that one actually will return us 5.5% after the squish, which if you hash, that's huge. That's huge numbers. Yeah. And it finishes fast outside. It makes these gorgeous flowers, purple buds. It smells like gas, and then at the end it's got like a hint of watermelon or maybe like a overripe pineapple.
Yes, sir.
Oh, bro, it's the one. It really is. It's kind of our hash flagship at this point. I've been smoking coffee a long time, which to me has more of a creamy, sugary coffee flavor to it. But this other one with that touch of fruit on it, man, I just love that one. The Pinkleberry, which is a super fast finisher, that one throws some really amazing hash. And we're running some Pinkleberry times coffee crosses. We also made, we didn't release these, but we crossed that freeze times the Gorilla Glue. Okay. We call it the Gorilla Glue. And we took a Gorilla Glue male and hit that to the chocolate tie and to that strawberry. And so we've got a couple, like 100 plant rows of that going out in the yard this year. And we're hoping that'll make some killer hash as well.
Nice. Yeah. I actually just pulled up your Instagram. I don't think you could see it, but I just pulled up the Instagram on the screen. And, no, that's the old one. This is the new one.
If you go to roots underscore, to the new hash, they won't let me post anything weed related on roots with a Z. But if you go to Roots with a Z and just scroll down, you'll see all kinds of crazy hash.
Yeah, I say we're just scrolling through some of your pictures here. They're fucking phenomenal or whatever. But yeah, I was gonna ask you about Instagram. You have like 90 accounts, but it seems like they've got you. They fucking figured out how to fucking not let you post shit at the moment, basically.
So weird. It's so weird. I got deleted the first time. I had like 15,000 a couple years ago, and they deleted me and made another one, and they deleted me again, and yeah, so I think the Roots one with a Z were at like 36,000, but we've been there for 3 years. Like I can't gain people. It's weird.
yeah, we've been frozen too at like 60 something forever. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like it seems like algorithms have changed this whole social media fucking bullshit or whatever.
It is even deeper than that. And I'm not like a big conspiracy crazy fucker, but I'm gonna tell you right now. They shut down some of my credit cards, and I'm really careful about keeping worlds separated and whatnot. And some way they linked the IP to a number or whatever, and the bank just shutting you Bank of America. So fuck Bank of America.
Oh, dude, you want to talk banks that shut me down? You name one, they've shut me down. I've been shut down at every fucking bank that you know. I'm now on to the small fucking banks you've never heard of, and it only takes me 90 to 100 days before they shut my account down there too also. So I don't know what it is, but there's some banking thing against us all where we're getting put on a blacklist. And the thing is when they shut your account, it's not like we're shutting your account because you're a weed guy. It's like we've chosen, like we in the fine print, we can close anyone's account for any reason, and we've chosen to close your account. And they don't tell you why because they know that you're going to sue them if they tell it's fucking for cannabis or something. So they're just like, we just chosen to. And then they tell all their friends, and good luck getting a checking account. It's pretty fucked up.
Now you know how those poor people overseas feel when the United States fucks with their economic programs, and then they will all try to get here being refugees. It's because we fucked their banking. Sorry.
You're not wrong about that. Speaking of banking, ironically, I have on the screen these fucking coins that I think these are ironic. Did you actually fashion these, or were these made somehow? And like, I'm confused. But they're the dopest things I've ever seen.
Canadian Mint. They make that's actual legal tender up in Canada. They're honoring an artist and the native people up there, and indigenous people. And yeah, man, a friend of mine from up there sent me a picture, and I said, "Wow, that's cool. Who wants to send me some of these?"
Yeah, dude, that is cool. I want some, dude. So anybody who wants fucking seeds, send me one of these. How much are they worth?
They're toonies, so they're $2 a piece.
Whatever, yeah. All right, send me like 2 or 3 of them bitches, and I'll fucking hook it up. All right, man. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got a massive farm to run and everything else, but I'm going to give you the opportunity. Is there anything you want to talk about, or anything you wanted to shout out, or anywhere people can find your seeds? We didn't talk about that. Where's a good spot to buy your stuff, man?
Yeah, you can pick us up at Neptune Seed Bank. Shout out Neptune. Those guys have been with us for a long time. Seeds here now. Shout out to Bill James Bean. Heavily Connected, Rocky Mountain High. The seed page is an auction site that he's a local dude, and he gets some really dope rare stuff from us. Attic 369, Attic, like the attic in your house, 369 out in Paris. Just a brethren that we made the link, and he's out there doing, he's an authorized dealer in Paris. So if you're in Paris and you want to grab some seeds, look him up. There's been a lot of banks that have come and gone over the years. Some have burned us, but for the most part, we got some really good partners, and you can always link me direct at the nw47@gmail.com. I'd give a shout out to the Bearded Kraken. If you're not following him, at the Bearded Kraken on Instagram. He's our human tractor out on the farm, one of our partners, a real stand-up guy. And, if you're not following him, you're really missing out on some really incredible content, out-of-the-box content. Shout out Roots Crew. That's my man, Phil. Grew up with him. He's my partner out there at the farm. He's the lead farmer. And shout out 111 Ranch. That's the partner out there that's helped us out with the business side of things. And I always got to thank my wife and the Most High for giving my heart a place. And thank you for having me on. Look for our seeds coming into to Europe hot and heavy soon. Pure Sativa and all those other affiliated seed banks. We're about to send you some fire. So
some international stuff. Sweet.
Still for that.
Sweet. Well, yeah. On behalf of everybody, dude, I want to thank you for coming on here. I'm gonna start pestering you again in 6 months to a year to get the fuck back on here and tell us more shit. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on, giving us time, sharing your journey with us or whatever. And again, thanks a ton, bro, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. Big up to Bruce,
bro.
Big up Dark Horse.
Yes,
blah,
sir.
Blah.
What the fuck? You got frozen. Everything froze. Yeah, anyway, there's Kaya. We've only got 60 seconds, so I'm going to give away some seeds super fast. Assuming this shit wants to... Everything takes 9 years to change cameras. All right. Drainos. If you want to get Drainos real quick, 60 seconds. By the way, this is a double header, so we're coming right back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to reload this shit. Introducing free shit. More free shit coming in about 5 minutes after this one. But yeah, Drainos. Camera's freaking out a little bit. Kitchen sink number 2, Thanos. Whoa, in and out. 12 regular seeds. Just hit up Drainos. We're only going to we'll give away 3 of these. 10th, 20th, and 30th person. Free shitty email going across the screen, darkhorsegeneticsalive@gmail.com. With that said, I want to thank Kaya for coming on. Super dope dude. And everybody out there, catch us in about 3, 4, 5 minutes. We're going to come right back with a Hydro Grow episode, doing a doubleheader tonight, folks. So we'll catch you in a few minutes. But yeah.